The OneCoin fraud. Anatomy of a $4 billion crypto scam. What if I told you that right now, someone is living a life of unimaginable luxury with $4 billion of stolen money? Money taken from teachers, nurses, and ordinary people who just wanted a better future. This isn't fiction. This is the story of Ruja Ignatova, the crypto queen, who pulled off history's biggest cryptocurrency scam, and then simply disappeared. Welcome to the Da Vinci Diligence channel, and today we're going inside OneCoin, the fraud that revealed just how vulnerable our financial system has become in the digital age. Imagine addressing 90,000 cheering fans at London's Wembley Stadium, being celebrated as a financial revolutionary, and then 24 hours later, vanishing completely from the face of the earth. This is exactly what Ruja Ignatova, the self-proclaimed crypto queen, did after orchestrating what the FBI calls one of the most audacious frauds in history. What makes this story truly extraordinary isn't just the $4 billion that disappeared or the 3 million victims left with nothing. It's that OneCoin revealed a frightening truth about our digital age. You don't need a real product to build a global empire, just a compelling story and the right psychological triggers. This isn't just a story about cryptocurrency, it's about the dangerous space between technological enthusiasm and technological understanding. In this investigation, you'll discover how an Oxford-educated former consultant transformed worthless computer code into billions through 3 distinct criminal operations. I'll reveal the private messages where she literally wrote, "Take the money and run," the network of Harvard lawyers who laundered her fortune, and why authorities believe she might be hiding in plain sight or lying at the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea. But here's the question that haunted investigators. How could someone who literally wrote, "Take the money and run" in private emails manage to execute that plan perfectly, despite being one of the most recognizable financial criminals in the world? The brilliance of the OneCoin fraud was its perfect timing. In 2014, Bitcoin had demonstrated cryptocurrency's potential for massive returns, but most people still didn't understand how blockchain technology actually worked. This knowledge gap created the perfect environment for an elaborate confidence game. Ruja Ignatova and co-founder Sebastian Greenwood established 3 crucial elements that made their scheme nearly unstoppable. First, they created a complex technical facade, using jargon about mining algorithms, blockchain technology, and financial revolution that overwhelmed potential investors' critical thinking. Rather than providing transparent technology, they operated what prosecutors later identified as simple database entries masquerading as cryptocurrency. Second, they perfected the illusion of legitimacy by registering companies across multiple jurisdictions: Bulgaria, Dubai, and Belize. This deliberate corporate maze achieved 2 goals. It complicated any regulatory investigation while simultaneously suggesting global corporate legitimacy. Their educational packages, ranging from $100 to $118,000, contained plagiarized material from Wikipedia but came with tokens for mining OneCoin, creating the illusion of participation in a legitimate cryptocurrency. Remember, nothing about OneCoin's structure was accidental. Each element, from the corporate maze to the restricted exchange, was precisely engineered to maximize investment while minimizing accountability. But their most powerful weapon was their multi-level marketing structure. Rather than simply defrauding investors directly, they turned victims into unwitting accomplices. Each investor was incentivized to recruit friends and family through commission structures, effectively weaponizing trust relationships. As Greenwood himself wrote in internal communications, the main thing is to get them to buy the package and worry about the tokens later. Take away their ability to think and just get them to buy. Even as regulatory warnings mounted across multiple countries in 2016, OneCoin continued recruiting. Their internal exchange, the only place OneCoins could theoretically be converted to real money, suddenly closed in January 2017. Yet the company continued accepting new investments. This wasn't just a scam unraveling, it was operating exactly as designed. As the walls closed in around OneCoin, something unexpected happened. Something that would transform this from a simple fraud case into one of history's most baffling disappearances and raise disturbing questions about who might have helped her escape. The OneCoin criminal network began to unravel in July 2018 with the dramatic arrest of Sebastian Greenwood in Thailand. The master salesman, who once boasted about creating millionaires like hot bread, now faced the harsh reality of American justice. His eventual 20-year prison sentence reflected not just the $300 million he personally extracted from the scheme, but his pivotal role in its expansion. The investigation revealed something prosecutors hadn't anticipated: the sophisticated legal infrastructure deliberately constructed to protect the operation. Mark Scott, former partner at prestigious law firm Lock Lord, engineered a complex network of fake investment funds and shell corporations that laundered approximately $400 million through the legitimate banking system. His conviction exposed how white-collar professionals were essential to the fraud's success, not merely peripheral players. Perhaps most revealing was the case of Irina Dilkinska, OneCoin's head of legal and compliance, the very executive responsible for ensuring regulatory adherence. Her 4-year sentence highlighted the cynical subversion of corporate safeguards meant to protect investors. Rather than serving as a compliance officer, she actively architected the mechanisms that facilitated the fraud. Yet the most consequential outcome isn't what happened to those caught. It's what didn't happen to the one who escaped. Despite coordinated international law enforcement efforts, Ruja Ignatova's October 2017 flight from Sofia to Athens marked the beginning of one of modern finance's great mysteries. The $5 million FBI bounty, the highest offered for a female fugitive, signals not just the magnitude of her crimes, but a troubling reality. In our hyper-connected world, it remains possible to steal billions and simply disappear. But beyond the prison sentences and financial penalties lies a deeper question that affects every digital transaction you make. If a fraud this massive could operate in plain sight for years, what invisible warning signs might you be missing in your financial life right now? The OneCoin case reveals something far more disturbing than individual greed. It exposes systematic vulnerabilities in how we evaluate digital investments. This wasn't merely a sophisticated fraud. It was a masterclass in exploiting 3 specific gaps in our collective financial defense system. First is the asymmetrical expertise problem. Cryptocurrency operates at the intersection of complex fields: computer science, cryptography, economics, and game theory. When Ignatova claimed OneCoin used proprietary blockchain technology, most potential investors lacked the technical background to verify this claim. The lesson isn't just skepticism, it's understanding that legitimate cryptocurrencies are transparent by design. Their code is open source, their transactions publicly verifiable, and their operations decentralized. The moment someone claims proprietary technology that can't be independently examined, you're not looking at innovation. You're looking at deliberate obfuscation. Second is the exploitation of trust networks. OneCoin's multi-level marketing structure weaponized our most vulnerable psychological point: Trust in friends and family. When someone you trust enthusiastically recommends an investment, your natural skepticism often disengages. This explains why OneCoin spread through religious communities, immigrant groups, and tight-knit social networks. The defense here isn't distrusting loved ones. It's maintaining separate verification channels regardless of who makes the recommendation. Here's the central insight that changes everything. In legitimate investments, transparency exists to survive scrutiny. In fraudulent ones, complexity exists to prevent it. Yet, the third vulnerability, and most insidious, is manufactured scarcity and exclusivity. OneCoin masterfully created artificial growth milestones, limited time opportunities, and the illusion of privileged access. By restricting liquidation through their controlled exchange, they created the perfect psychological trap: visible paper wealth that couldn't be easily tested against reality. This explains why many victims remained believers, even as regulatory warnings mounted. Their unrealized gains represented not just money, but identity and status. The ultimate protection isn't just technical literacy or skepticism, it's recognizing when investment opportunities are structured to bypass your critical thinking rather than withstand it. When you feel urgency, exclusivity, and social pressure converging around an investment decision, that's not market opportunity, it's market manipulation. In authentic investments, transparency isn't a marketing feature, it's the foundation everything else builds upon. The OneCoin story isn't over. Ruja Ignatova remains at large, billions remain unrecovered, and most troublingly, similar schemes continue to emerge under new names and with new promises. What makes these financial crimes so dangerous in our digital age isn't their complexity, it's how they exploit our very human desires for connection, status, and financial security. That concludes the episode. Hoped you liked it. In a few days, we'll investigate another fraud case on the Da Vinci Diligence channel. Until then, remember, in the world of investment, skepticism isn't cynicism, it's self-protection.